Thanks, Professor Wei. I appreciate the time. Yeah, so don't worry. I also make sure that it's not as technical as I would like it to be. But essentially, right, today we're talking about how my company and our research group actually produces meat flavors using vegan ingredients. And we are using this proprietary technology that we call vegan heme, or VEME for short. Or in other words, you also can think about this lecture or this workshop as an explanation of how meat flavors are formed within cooked meats themselves. All right. All right. So why is there so much technicality? Because yeah lah, I have a very deep background in synthetic chemistry. I have a love for drawing lines and writing letters. All right. I'm in love with chemistry. And so for the last from 2016 all the way to 2021, we were actually making metal drugs to treat cancers. But unfortunately, there's not really a future that you can really commercialize on. And so we found out that metal compounds are very important in producing meat flavors. And so we pivoted and shifted gears towards the food sector. And we found actually we've been very productive because we founded a startup company and we have developed 3 patents in this space by using new chemistry knowledge, right, contemporary chemistry knowledge in this food space, because you realize that not many people are using it at all. And so about our company is called the Meat Company, all right, and it's actually a startup from NUS, all right, and so far we've been receiving quite a few awards from various institutions like DBS Bank, Enterprise Singapore, and we're also a finalist in Temasek Foundation's prestigious Livability Challenge. We are also currently working with flavor companies like Ajinomoto and MAN, all right. So just enough about ourselves. So what is heme? So heme is this very complicated molecule right here, all right, and it's found mostly in animals in the form of blood or in muscles in the form of myoglobin. But what's important is that when you cook a piece of meat, this molecule is non-innocent. This means that it takes part in the cooking reaction itself, right? And that's why animal meats taste so much better, is because this heme accelerates the cooking reactions in animal meats, right? But of course, we have developed a method where we can actually extract this same molecule from vegetables. But this heme is different because it's vegan and non-GMO, and that's why we call it VEME for short. All right. So when you cook a piece of meat, right, essentially what you're doing is you're starting a series of very complicated chemical reactions, and please don't be scared by this, okay? One of which is called the Maillard reaction. So the Maillard reaction is a cooking reaction which turns your food brown. So when you bake bread or when you cook a piece of meat, you notice it turns brown, right? That is the Maillard reaction. But of course, there are also many other reactions that are involved. So the second one is something that involves the heme and the fats inside the animal meat, all right, and it's called lipid oxidation, all right. That's the third one, and these are broad classes, so it's not exhaustive, right? But it's another source of flavors, right? It also comes from this molecule called vitamin B1, all right, and when you cook it, it actually decomposes, and we call this thymine degradation. All right. So how does heme work? Right. Heme makes meat taste better because it accelerates all these 3 reactions. And if you guys can remember your A-level chemistry, all right. Okay. Heme is a class of molecule called catalyst. Essentially, molecule make reaction go fast. All right, by making it easier. All right, and heme is a natural molecule found in our bodies. All right, and that's why we know it's safe to eat. All right, it forms your blood, part of your blood. It's form part of your enzymes as well. And from a molecular point of view, for us, especially Dr. Dang and I, it's a beautiful molecule. All right, because of the way it looks, it is very stable, very reactive, can be used many times. All right, it doesn't change structure when it undergoes reaction, and most importantly, it's a very flat molecule. So a lot of molecules can just bind, react, detach, and the cycle can repeat again and again. And that's why it's a very good catalyst. So yeah, I promise this is the last technical slide that we have, okay? All right, so this is, so we know that VEME actually increases meaty flavors, and just let me go through this, okay? So this is what we call a spectra, all right? So we are actually looking at the molecules above a flavor mixture, all right? And then we are separating it. And all that you see, all these peaks here that you see, right? Peaks here that you see, these correspond to lightweight molecules that give rise to meaty flavors. So the green one is the one with VEME, the red one is iron salt, gray one, no iron at all. And you can clearly see that, where the green circles are, there's basically the peaks are a lot larger, a lot taller, all right, and more numerous compared to the red and gray. And these molecules, basically, that's how we know VEME is actually producing more of these meaty molecules. And when we do concentration-dependent experiments, so these meaty volatiles is basically molecules with meaty flavors. All right. As we increase the concentration of VEME, you can see that the quantity of these meaty volatiles increase by a large margin compared to iron salt. But all of this don't mean anything, it's just chemicals, right? So we have to, and I do agree with Professor Daniel, the sensory is very important, because without sensory, how do we make sense of this? And when we ask people, okay, smell the green graph versus the gray graph, the people agree the green graph smells exactly like beef, but the gray one doesn't smell anything like beef at all. So sensory test is very important. In fact, it's actually the last validation experiment that we need to do, because you can have all these bunch of chemicals, but at the end of the day, your nose and your tongue are the one that tells you what it tastes like. All right, so we've used VEME for two purposes. All right, in fact, this is a part of advertisement. So we use it to generate meaty flavor compounds and to also reduce the cost of products. So we use it as a core ingredient for our vegan meat flavors. So using this VEME molecule, we're able to produce beef, unagi, pork, and fish flavors from vegan ingredients. And when we add it to soy-based proteins, for example, like this soy-based protein, we are able to replicate the look, cook, smell, and taste of bacon. All right, so in essence, what VEME does is that it reacts with the oils, amino acids, and sugars, right, to accelerate this Maillard reaction, thymine degradation, and lipid oxidation reactions, and this results in the production of a very chemically complex environment that is similar to that of meat, and that is how we produce meaty flavors from vegan ingredients, just by mimicking the chemical environment of meat. Right. Of course, you might be asking, Max, this is, how do you actually target particular kinds of species? All right, and that's where our second layer of technology comes in, and we call it VVAF technology. It stands for vegan versions of animal fats. Basically, we use vegetable oil to mimic the fat composition of animals, all right, and then use it to react with VEME to produce a chemical output that is very similar to that of a particular animal meat. And this is how it works. So you can see pork, beef, and chicken. So the dark yellow and the medium yellow and the dark yellow is are the important fats. All right, you can see that for canola, flaxseed, and grapeseed weigh a lot more of these important fats. All right, so it stands to reason that, hey, you can use these vegetable oils to mimic the fat profiles of animal fats and therefore get the same chemical output as animals, and that's how we actually achieve very affordable meat flavors from vegan ingredients. All right, so we've used it very successfully in the flavor and alternative meat industry to improve the deliciousness of the product and also bring down the production costs. And so this is my last slide. If you're interested, anyone, just write in, email us at hello@themeatsg.com, and we'll be happy to arrange a demo session for you where you can actually smell, taste, and see VEME in action. If not, you can visit our website, and at our website, you can actually request for samples. So whether you're a housewife or whether you're a restaurateur, we are happy to provide samples of our VEME products for you to try out. All right, with that, thank you very much.